everyone, and welcome to Business Boutique. I'm Christy Wright, and today we are talking about being more disciplined. I don't know if you need this. I certainly do. I'll tell you guys, I talk about this all the time, but I've got a lot of feelings, right? Like even my feelings have feelings. Like I feel good, so I act happy. I feel bad, so I act mad. And my feelings tend to just kind of drive things sometimes. But you know what? If you are building your business or building your life or your dreams or your goals only on your feelings, it's going to be a roller coaster. You're going to be up, you're going to be down, you're going to be in the mood, out of the mood. And that's why I'm so excited to talk about something that will help you create stability as you reach for your goals and try to build your dream and build your business. Well, that one thing is discipline. Now, I know it doesn't sound exciting. Like no one listening and watching right now is thinking, oh, discipline, love talking about that. In fact, the word itself has kind of a negative connotation. Like you think of discipline, you think of, I'm disciplining my children, which usually that's not fun for anyone, right? They're getting time out, you're upset, they're misbehaving. It's just never a good scenario. But here's the thing. Discipline can actually be an unbelievable quality. Some of the most successful people in the world have incredible discipline. Now, like anything I teach you, discipline is not one of those things that's a gene that some people get and some people don't. It's a choice we can make. It's a skill we can learn. You can actually cultivate discipline in your own life, even if you're not naturally disciplined. You know, I love the example of Stephen King. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Stephen King. He has written countless books. Many of them have become movies, and he talks about his success. And he says the reason behind his success is one thing. You guessed it, discipline. In fact, he is amazing. He says he doesn't even believe in writer's block. He says it's just an excuse writers use when they don't have any motivation to write. Talk about some tough love. Stephen King writes 10 pages a day, even on birthdays and holidays. Now, I don't know about that. I would recommend you take your birthday and Christmas off. But here's the thing. I love the idea behind it. Your success is not dependent on your situation or your feelings or whether the weather is nice or not. It's dependent on your discipline. You know, I actually know what he's talking about because when I was writing Business Boutique, it took incredible discipline to crank out the words and the pages and the chapters to reach my deadline. I wasn't going to get there if I only wrote when I was in the mood. I wasn't going to get there if I only wrote when I was inspired. I had to get there through being incredibly disciplined. And I love the quote by my good friend Christine Kane where she says, vision will inspire you, but discipline will get you there. And I don't know about you, but let's just camp here for a second. I tend to love the beginnings of things. I love the newness. I love new ideas. I love vision casting. I love goal setting. I love the beginning stages. It's exciting. It's creative. It's full of possibilities. It is fun. But I love what she says here. Vision will inspire you. Yes, it's very inspirational in the beginning, but it won't get you there. What will get you there, as she says? Discipline. The day-to-day grind. Cranking out the words or the miles or the emails or the spreadsheets, whatever you have to do, the baby steps day in and day out, the unimpressive things that make up a given day toward your goal, that's what actually gets you to the goal, not the beginning, not the exciting stuff, not all the fun goal setting and vision casting. It's the discipline that gets you to where you want to be. Now, I would say that many of us have a lack of discipline because we don't really know what it truly means. We don't really know what it looks like. So let's just talk about some examples of what discipline is. Well, number one, discipline means following through even when you don't want to. Let me just give you an example, shall I? I have a lot of these. I will tell you, I get myself into things that after getting myself into it, AKA committing, I realize I didn't want to do it or I don't want to do it anymore. I have moved on emotionally to something else, but I've committed. Now, one good thing about me is I'm really big on commitments. I want my word to mean something. So if I commit, I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow through, which means, y'all, I have to follow through on things all the time, even if I don't want to. Prime example. I've talked about this recently, but back in the spring, I volunteered, for some reason I can't explain, to coach my son's 4-year-old soccer team when there wasn't a coach. Well, that seemed like a great idea in February when I was bored and there was nothing going on and it was cold outside. I was like, sure, yeah, fine. Well, by mid-May, when I was still having to show up for practices and create drills and games and different teaching techniques for 4-year-olds every single week and show up for games every single week and wake up when the weather forecast was bad and have to make the call for the parents. Do they get their kids out of bed to go to the game, or are we going to call it a cancellation due to the weather? I had to follow through. But you know what? That means that my reputation's intact. I'm a person of my word and I follow through on my commitment. That's what discipline is. It means you follow through even when you don't want to. Like when you volunteer to serve in the nursery, but when you wake up, you really want to sleep in. Sorry, you volunteered. You need to follow through. The second example of discipline means holding yourself accountable even when no one is watching, even when no one sees you, even when you don't have someone standing there to give you a high five and celebrate you, even when you're not going to post it on Facebook or Instagram. Like waking up at 4 a.m. to work out because you made a promise to yourself that you're going to do it, and you're going to honor that promise. You're going to prove yourself right, that you have the discipline to get up and do the hard things that maybe you don't want to do at the beginning, but by the end, you're so glad that you did. So this second example of discipline means doing the right thing, holding yourself accountable even when no one is watching. It even means honoring your word even when your heart's not in it. So let's say you don't really want to go to your second cousin's wedding out of town 6 hours. Your heart's not in it. But you know it's really important to your family and it's important to her and it would mean a lot to everyone and you said you would. Your heart's not in it. I know that. But you gave him your word. So you're going to get in the car and you're going to drive 6 hours and you're going to show up with a smile on your face at that wedding. And you are going to be fully present there because you are going to honor your word. You're going to be a person of integrity. Your reputation will have character and your word will mean something. That's what discipline is. Discipline also means sticking to the plan even when you're not motivated. The example of Stephen King is a perfect example of this. Even when you don't feel like writing, what do? You write. You're going to stick to the plan. Even when you're not feeling inspired, but you've got a chapter due, you're going to sit down at the computer. Even when you're not motivating. Like, let's say, for example, it's the 3rd day in a row that someone has brought Krispy Kreme to the office and you haven't seen any progress in 2 weeks. What's the point of trying so hard to hold out and stick to your goals? It means you're going to stick to the plan. Even though those donuts smell so good and they're hot, it means you're going to stick to the plan. It also means keeping promises to yourself, even when that's really hard to do. Now, so often we think, if I make a promise to another person, that carries more weight than a promise to ourselves because, of course, we can cancel, we can change our minds, we can backpedal, we can choose a different route when it comes to ourselves. But here's the thing. When you continually break promises to yourself, you're actually damaging your own sense of confidence. When you continually tell yourself you're going to do something, you will do something, you should do something, you could do something, you are going to this time, you really are, but then you don't, it's amazing the damage that it does to your own sense of self, your own sense of confidence. As you continually break promises to yourself, you begin to take on an identity of a person that can't follow through. So the next time you make a promise to yourself, you'll think, well, I can't follow through. I'm not that kind of person. Well, I'll probably break the promise again. I'll probably give up again because I always give up. I'm just a quitter. See, you take on this entire identity. And I've said this before, we place labels on ourselves and then we live within them. But you're the one that placed the label. And many times it has come out of a repetitive pattern of breaking promises to yourself. So value yourself enough to keep your promises, even to you. And if you're not sure if you can keep it, then don't make it. If you're not sure you're going to wake up in the morning, don't set this goal and say, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and then not do it. It's better to say, you know what? Tomorrow's not the right day to work out. I'm going to sleep in because I'm worn out, my muscles are sore, and I'm just going to take it easy. Great, you woke up. And you kept a promise to yourself. You promised yourself you're going to sleep in, and you did. That actually boosts your self-confidence. Isn't that amazing? So keep promises to yourself even when it's really, really hard. Discipline also means rising to the occasion even when you're exhausted. Now, I don't know if you guys have felt this before. I'm sure you have, especially if you're a busy mom. You come home from work and you're wiped, drained. You don't have an ounce of energy left. All you want to do is crawl in bed. I hear you. This is me every single night. But you know who's there waiting on you? A little 2-year-old or a 4-year-old or an 8-year-old that hasn't seen you all day. And they are so excited to see their mom walk through the door. You know what it means? It means rallying. It means rising to the occasion even when you're exhausted. You're going to put a smile on your face. You're going to get on the floor and wrestle with those kids and ask them about their day and read them a book and be so interested in the new rock they found in the backyard. That's what you're going to do because that's the kind of mom that you are. That's what discipline is. It means being the person that you want to be over who you're feeling like being in the moment. Another example of discipline would mean getting up even when you failed multiple times. You've fallen down. You've made mistakes. You have the scars to prove it. But you know what? Discipline means getting up, dusting yourself off, and literally getting back on the horse to try again. It takes discipline. Your feelings certainly aren't there. You don't have any proof because you've already got mistakes to stand on going, oh my gosh, like what if this happens again? But discipline says, I'm going to try again. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to dust myself off and go for it one more time. For example, Oprah was fired as a news reporter early on in her career. What if she had given up? We wouldn't have the Oprah that we have today. You have to have the discipline to just keep going, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline also means investing in yourself, even when you might feel a little bit selfish. For example, so often we feel guilty when we leave our kids to go work on our business or our dream or a career. When we're at work, we're thinking about the kids. When we're at home, we're thinking about work. We're always feeling guilty. Discipline means controlling your thoughts and controlling your focus to be where your feet are, being present in the moment that you're in. And what's amazing is you will shake the guilt when you actually choose to be present wherever you are. Discipline also means turning off other distractions when you want to focus on something specific. So you want to focus on your work on your computer, great. Close out all the other tabs. You want to focus on a person in front of you, great. Put your phone away. Discipline means actually, actively doing something to set you up to succeed in the moment that you're in. Of course, any of us can be distracted. Any of us can feel emotions that are counter to what we want or where we're going or what we're trying to do. But discipline means pushing through anyway. And here's the great news, y'all. You already have this spirit inside you. You don't have to go out and try to get this gene or learn this thing about discipline. You actually already have this spirit in you. I love how the Bible in 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God has not given us a spirit of timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline." Self-discipline. You already have this spirit inside of you. It's just up to us to tap into that and use that and leverage that in our lives day in and day out. Now, I want to give you 3 practical things that you can do to actually improve your self-discipline this week. So all the things we've been talking about, how do we live this out in our daily life? I want to give you 3 ways to do that. Number 1, you've heard me say this before, just take the first step. Set small, realistic goals instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I have to clean the entire house today, which would overwhelm anyone. Instead, just start by putting the laundry away. Just have the discipline to do the tiny, small, unimpressive thing right in front of you. The lowest hanging fruit, the quickest win. That's what you're going to do. And what's amazing is once you start doing that, you gain confidence, pride, satisfaction, a sense of productivity and progress, and most of all, momentum that propels you to take the second baby step. After that first load of laundry, you're like, okay, I'm going to do the dishes. And after the dishes, you're like, I can clean the counters. You get this momentum and you do more than you originally set out to do. But don't start out being overwhelmed. Just take a baby step. Sometimes even the tiniest step in a new direction is all you need to keep going in that direction. So one way to improve your self-discipline is just take the first baby step. The second one is to set yourself up to win. This is really, really key because oftentimes we say, okay, here's my goal or here's my plan or here's my dream. But then we put ourselves in scenarios that's completely counter to that. That's full of temptation. That is setting ourselves up to fail. So for example, let's say that you have the goal to eat fewer sweets. I don't know about you guys, but I have a bad sweet tooth. Well, if I'm trying to eat fewer sweets or no sweets, no sugar in my diet at all to try to just be healthier overall, I don't need to buy mint Oreos, which are my favorite, by the way, or other ice cream or other cookies or other treats at the grocery store and stock my pantry and fridge with sweets. That's setting myself up to fail. Instead, set yourself up to win. How can you create a great organized desk environment so you are actually more excited to go to work and to work on your business? How can you clean out your pantry or your fridge to set yourself up to be more successful in your health goals? How can you set out your workout clothes the night before you want to work out to set yourself up to win? So in the morning, you have one less excuse of why you can't wake up and go work out because, I can't find the clothes. No, your clothes are right there. So when you set yourself up to win, you make discipline so much easier. You're actually preparing to win. You're preparing in advance to succeed versus putting yourself in the scenario of having so much discipline that you're going to be able to withstand any temptation or any distraction or any outside pressure or excuse. Instead, prepare to win. Prepare to succeed. And when you do that, when you actually set yourself up to win, then the discipline is a lot less necessary. You're just following through on your preparation by that point. The third step, and this is huge, is find accountability. Find accountability to help you actually be disciplined. I will tell you, this kind of goes hand in hand with number 2. If you have some health goals and you're hanging out with people that are eating sweets, going out, having pizza, drinking beer, hanging out all the time, you're constantly going to feel like you're swimming upstream. Instead, find some accountability. If you want to work out, join a workout group. If you want to write more, join a writer's club. If you want to read more, join a book club. Find accountability and put people around you that have similar goals and have similar dreams and are working on similar things. Then you can hold each other accountable. I've used this example before of Rachel Cruz and I, but when we were working out together, it was having the accountability of each other that helped us stay disciplined. I would have never in a million years had the discipline to wake up 3 to 4 to 5 times a week in the morning at 4 a.m. before work, to drive to a different YMCA than the one by my house to work out if I had not had that accountability. If I didn't have a friend there waiting on me, someone I was not only going to get to enjoy the experience with, but someone that I would have to text and report to if I wasn't going to make it. Find accountability. What are your goals? What are your plans? What are you trying to be disciplined in? And then surround yourself with people that can help support you, provide accountability, cheer you on, high five you. Another example is in marriage. I will tell you, when my husband and I decide to eat healthy together, we eat healthy. And when we don't, neither one of us does. Because it's really hard to be the person in the marriage that's getting a salad and water when the other person is getting Coke and pizza. It's amazing how helpful accountability is. So, what is that accountability for you? You know, maybe it's in the Business Boutique Facebook group. Maybe you're a Business Boutique Academy member. Maybe you have a friend in your town or your city that you meet for coffee to talk about business one day a week. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a Bible study or a book club or something else entirely, but find accountability. And when you have that accountability, again, you won't need quite as much discipline because you have that support of other people on the same journey that you are. The bottom line is this: discipline is a decision that you make. It's not a feeling that you feel or don't, or a gene that you got or didn't. Instead, it is a decision that you make, and that is available to everyone. It's not something negative. It's not something that's going to make you feel locked in and handcuffed. It's not something that is a punishment for you. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Discipline is a tool and a skill that will truly get you to where you want to be. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to learn more about how to be disciplined in your business and your life, I'm telling you, you don't want to miss our Business Boutique Conference in Nashville next month, October 24th through the 26th. I'll be there speaking along with an amazing lineup of rock star speakers, and you can get your tickets and find out more information by clicking the link below.